All right, we're up. We're live. Let's see. Hold on, I'm going to post about this. All right, yeah, this is great so far. Totally silent. All right, back. SEC Power Rankings. Final SEC game just came to an end there. South Carolina beat Mississippi State, and Mizzou beats Memphis. Red hot Mizzou. SEC Power Rankings update. Real quick here. As always, hope you all are used to this by now, but many of you will not. Texas and Oklahoma are in the rankings. They're SEC to me. And the only criteria for these, if Team A meets Team B on a neutral field next week, who do I got winning the game? So let's get into it. All right. 16. God, Vanderbilt's awful. I'm tired of talking Vanderbilt. They showed a little bit of fight. Pick six crazy over there. Swanson. We're over and done with him. So let's move on from they're basically irrelevant at this point in time. Auburn, I got you 15th. Now, is that fair? I don't know. I mean, I was not a big believer in Auburn leading up to this, and they showed me nothing. I mean, their quarterbacks are awful. I thought Texas A&M, aside from their defensive failings in the Miami game, this is as bad as A&M looked, and I never felt like Auburn had a chance in that game on Saturday. So Auburn, you're 15 until further notice. Mississippi State, 14. They looked good. They looked a hell of a lot better. I was hoping they'd bounce back and show some fight. They did. They damn near, I don't want to say nearly won that game. They didn't nearly win it, but they had their opportunities. So give me Mississippi State 14. Will Rogers showing some signs of life. Tulu Griffin setting records for all-time Mississippi State single-season receptions. He's a stud. At defense, though, they didn't show up. And we'll get to Spencer here in a minute. Maybe that's more a credit to Spencer than it is the defense. Kentucky, 13. I'm off the bandwagon. I mean, yes, they're undefeated. People are going to get mad that I've got undefeated Kentucky here. But at 13, they just look disjointed. They look like, at times, it looks like they can play with anybody. And then at times, it looks like they could be the worst team in the league. So I don't know what the hell to make of them. And obviously, they've had coaching, I don't know what the right word is here. I mean, damn near tragedy. So I'm not trying to pile on. But Devin Leary is not, he's not who we thought he was, at least not so far. So that's a question mark. I don't know. I'm down on Kentucky. I'm out. I don't want to make a prediction this early, but I think Florida, of course, Florida struggled. I think Florida could kill Kentucky next week. I really do. So be on the lookout for that. All right, 12. South Carolina. And yes, Gamecocks, red hot. Lock of the week. We got to give a shout out to Shane. He actually got a lock right because he bet on South Carolina, and he did. They got it done for him. But South Carolina, you know what South Carolina reminds me of as I sit here and watching them this evening go up and down the field on Mississippi State? South Carolina is a average to poor team with Spencer Rattler and Xavier Legette playing out of their mind. And that's a credit to those guys. I mean, Spencer Rattler should be first team All-SEC. Xavier Legette should be first team All-SEC at this point in time. But I don't know what we're doing on defense. We let Mississippi State go all up and down the field on you. Not overly impressed with South Carolina. But hey, a win's a win. I called that a must win. They got it done. But again, if I'm putting Mississippi State 14th and you beat them at home, it was 2 scores, so I'll give you that. But I'm not going to jump you up because you beat the number 14 team at home. Cousin Shane looks like he smells a hot roast beef sandwich. Yes, the SEC is struggling. Okay, next on the docket. Who's after South Carolina? Tennessee. Ooh, number 11, Tennessee. They had their moments. They kind of they beat up UTSA, but UTSA didn't even have their quarterback. Joe Milton looked like a rock star in the first half. He got hurt. Second half looked terrible. So again, he looks average as can be against a non-SEC opponent. He looked awful in his only SEC game. So until further notice, I mean, Tennessee, a lot of defensive mistakes. I'm trying to think of what stood out. I mean, the offensive line was better, but that's about all I can say about Tennessee right now. Not impressed. You should see some of these messages Cousin Shane sending me about Tennessee. He's out. He's out on all the balls. I don't even know if he's going to pick them to beat South Carolina. Tennessee too low. I need a. When we got A&M fans in the mention saying Tennessee that we need them to keep winning to help our strength of schedule, that's when you know the Vols are down. Florida, I got Florida number 10. Again, your biggest test, you passed it. Of course, Utah, I guess you could say, may have been their biggest test, but who cares about that? We're talking SEC. You slammed Tennessee, came back down to earth against Charlotte. Consistency lacking there. Probably looking ahead to next week's Kentucky game. I don't dock you much if you're Florida, but you dominant in the first quarter. Looked like Tennessee, Florida in the first quarter. Looked like Utah, Florida in the second. It was ugly. So, no real change for Florida. I think I had them number 9. I docked them one spot here. Ole Miss, number 9. Honestly, I mean, I didn't get any of these Ole Miss people thinking, you know, they were asking us, can we beat Bama? Can we beat LSU? Can we beat Arkansas? Can we go on this run? Can we win the West? They've not been able to run the ball all damn year. And they couldn't do it against Alabama, and I didn't think they could, and that's why I picked Alabama to win by double digits. And that was even with Jalen Milroe looking shaky at times. So Ole Miss, huge missed opportunity. Lane Kiffin taking the blame after that. Good. That's the only time he did something right on social media this week is take the blame for that loss, because that's on him. And Jackson Dart, he didn't have a great game either. So, I mean, I'm disappointed in him as well. People saying Lane's a bust. I don't think he's a bust, but he's just not elite. He's an elite play caller. That's about all he is. He's an elite troll. And yeah, you're right. Alabama, hell, they're not any better. And they still... No, that was a huge missed opportunity by Ole Miss. I think their season could really go on a decline here if they don't get this running game going, which is their bread and butter, and they've not been able to run the ball all damn year. Texas A&M, I got you number 8. Connor Wigman, that hurts. I don't know how long he's out. Apologies if I missed it. But credit to Max Johnson, who came in and won us a game there he looked great, Max Johnson did. Connected with Jake Johnson, connecting with Evan Stewart. He saved the game here. Here's the thing with A&M. 1 week the defense looks awful. Then the next week, 2 weeks later, the offense kind of, I don't want to say awful, but they're not carrying their weight. So just so inconsistent. Can we put it all together? If A&M puts it all together against games like Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, they'll beat all of them. But I don't have confidence in them to do it. I don't see Bama winning. No, neither do I, unless A&M looks kind of weak like they did against Auburn. We got Danny apologizing for your Milton hate and for Food City slander. Please and thank you. A&M is good athletes, not a team. That's probably fair right now. Arkansas, number 7. You gained some respect. Again, you threw away the BYU game. That's going to hurt you all year long because you should have won that. And your damn near should have won at LSU. They caught fire. The middle 8 killed Arkansas right before halftime. They allowed LSU to go, I think it was 3 plays, 75 yards of 16 seconds. You just can't do that and win the games. And they allowed LSU to score right after halftime. That was a backbreaker in a game that went down to literally a field goal. So Arkansas, a lot better than they showed against BYU. They're the team I think we saw today. Still the penalties killing you. KJ can't do it all. We still don't have Rocket Sanders. So I think Arkansas can be even better if they get back Rocket next week. A&M, Arkansas, That may be the game of the week in the SEC. All right, number 6, Bama. And really, I think it says more about the SEC than it does Bama at this point in time because I don't feel comfortable about this. I think their defense has looked great. Now, again, Ole Miss can't run the ball, down some receivers. Jackson Dart struggled. So, again, maybe that's more on Ole Miss. But Alabama, number 6, I feel dirty even putting you that high because I don't think they're that good. I really don't. Jalen Milroe, at least, he'll throw a horrible interception and then he'll throw an amazing touchdown. So he's like half man, half amazing. I don't know what to make of Jalen Milroe. Well, as we were watching this game, Alabama, Ole Miss, the best playmaker is your quarterback, and that's troubling. That's getting in. I've said it before. Ole Miss is probably about the 5th toughest game you're going to play, and it was a struggle. So Alabama, not impressed with you, but I don't know who else to put up there. You're the biggest Alabama hater I know. You need to meet more people because there's quite. I can introduce you to plenty. Alabama versus the world. Yeah. Okay. Number 5, top 5, Missouri. How about it? We tried to tell you, Memphis got a legit defense, top 5 efficiency in the nation. Missouri put up 35 points on them, and this was with Brady Cook banged up, Luther Burden banged up. That was a heck of a team. I think Memphis is really underrated. It's time to buy stock into Mizzou. Yes, Luther Burden, Heisman. Let's get that campaign running. He's probably the best player overall, non-quarterback, impacting games out there. Luther Burden, love it. Mildew. What's sad is Jalen Milroe is their best option far and away. MIZ, yeah, I think Mizzou, hell, they get Vanderbilt next week, then they get LSU at home. College game day, we've been calling for it. Let's get game day to Mizzou, LSU. Come on, that's 2 heavyweights. That's 2 top 5 teams in the SEC. I got Oklahoma number 4. Struggled. They won easily at Cincinnati, but it was not nearly as flawless as the rest of their games. And this was their stiffest competition. A little bit of a struggle. So Oklahoma, I docked you. Their defense is still playing lights out. That's surprising the hell out of me. They were awful last year. Offense didn't carry them today. LSU, number 3. That offense heating up. Their defense is far from elite. They're going to have to win shootouts just like they did tonight, but they took care of business. Can they do it against Alabama? I think they can. A&M, that's going to be one hell of a game to close out the season, but LSU's putting it together. They got dominated for a half, yet they were still beating Arkansas right out of halftime because of the right before halftime, right after. They'll put it on you. They'll put it on you quick. When Jane Daniels gets going, when Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, they got him going. They got Mason Taylor back. LSU, dangerous team. Maybe the best team in the SEC, but I'm putting them number 3 right now. Number 2, Georgia Bulldogs. Looked good. They look pretty good. UAB was fighting with them in the first half here, but it's just hard to grade them because they've not played anybody. They've not looked flawless. They got a bunch of guys banged up. I get it. But Georgia Bulldogs, I'm putting you number 2 for now because you don't have a win near as impressive as Texas going into Alabama at night, national television, everybody watching that game, and Texas just physically dominating from Alabama's defense. Everything I said about them is true. They locked down Ole Miss that had, I think, the number 1 scoring offense in the SEC heading into this week. They completely stifled them. They sure as hell didn't stifle Texas. Texas probably should have beat them by 21 points in Bryant-Denny. So Texas, until further notice, number 1 in the SEC right now, according to my power rankings. So that's a full list. Tennessee, number 1? No. add a 0, and you're more accurate there, Carl. OU, I got them number 4. What questions we got here? Let's see. What else? Let's look at the schedule for next week. Let's do that real quick. You said Texas dominated Alabama. Okay. Yeah, that's illogical. Texas did dominate Alabama. I mean, it was not. That's not even a question. Dominated the line of scrimmage. Better quarterback. They sacked his ass. Next week, Florida, Kentucky, at Kentucky, Texas A&M, Arkansas and Arlington, Georgia at Auburn. I don't know how we do this each week. Georgia's schedule looks weaker than it did the week before, but Auburn's awful. Missouri, Vanderbilt, LSU at Ole Miss. Must win for Ole Miss if they want to stay in the West race. South Carolina at Tennessee, Cousin Shane's game of the year. And Alabama at Mississippi State. Oh, God. Okay. Tennessee 45, South Carolina 30. Is that with Nico in there? That's what Cousin Shane would say. I don't think Joe Milton can score 45 on an SEC defense. Kentucky should win against Florida. I don't know. I don't know if you're watching the same Kentucky I am. I don't agree with that. Mizzou's running attack. I mean, they're mid. They're mid at SEC mid. I mean, Memphis had the number one rushing defense in the country, according to the efficiency. And let's see, Schrader had 123, Pete had 65. So maybe I need to reevaluate that. I mean, hell, they had good games on them, but no, there's a lot better backs than what Missouri's got. So A&M is awful, and so is A&M. A&M's not awful, no. But they did not play well today, I didn't think. Florida's mid. Shane says, Vols win by 40. Just kidding. We're in trouble. I'm telling you, if you could read these Cousin Shane texts, I mean, he's convinced Tennessee may not win another game. If Florida can beat Tennessee, they can beat Kentucky. I would agree with that. Of course, the game's in Lexington, a little bit tougher. If you say Nico, one more time, I'm unsubscribing. Nico. Vols win big next week, says Tanner. What else we got? Yeah, college football is weird. I think that's the whole point. Home games, quarterbacks getting hot. That's going to define these games. I like South Carolina over Tennessee, says UGA Chris. I get that too. So you're going to keep saying Lane Kiffin can't win. What big games has Lane Kiffin won? He's not won one. Kentucky D will destroy Florida. That's the edge Kentucky's going to have in that game is the D. But how's Devin Leary going to play? I mean, he's a turnover machine. What are your opinions of Kentucky? Kentucky, they can look good at times, and then they look horribly disjointed at other. I mean, just go look at their drive chart. I think they were up 21-0, and then they had like their next 6 possessions. I don't know they got a first down. Turnovers, they're not firing on all cylinders, and this is a month of that. So I think they are who they are after a month. Mizzou hasn't had one stress-free win. That's true. That's how I knew they fit you, Cousin Shane. Still very impressed with Rattler, best quarterback in the SEC. I would agree. He's been incredible. How about Spencer Rattler? If he plays like that, if he does that against Tennessee, they're going to beat Tennessee in Neyland Stadium next weekend. Appreciate you, Kyle. Anything else? Let's see. Nobody seems to like A&M. Well, how can you like A&M? They played Auburn, which is, I don't know if you watch that game, but Auburn is just, they're rough. They can't complete a forward pass. And they were playing with A&M late into that game. You didn't watch the UK game, Mike. I did. I have witnesses here. Are people really having negative feelings about Tennessee? I can't find it. Yeah, you should be in these text threads with Cousin Shane. He may not even show up next week. He's down. He's down in the dumps. Shane, here's what Shane told me. I think he can share. He said I can share this probably. There's just no development, and he doesn't understand what in the hell they're doing with these quarterbacks. I mean, they're blowing out UTSA, and they keep an injured Joe Milton on the field. Why are they not getting anyone else? I mean, what happens if, God forbid, Joe Milton gets hurt first series against South Carolina? The backup, who we're not allowed to mention, according to Danny, he's going to have 0 meaningful snaps. So just good luck. Get out there now. Why not get him in there when we're up 4 or 5 touchdowns? That's illogical. I would agree with Shane on that one. Spencer for Heisman. I'd like to see it, but unfortunately the Heisman is kind of corrupt, and they just give it to like the best player on the best team now. So that eliminates Spencer because he's already lost a couple games. South Carolina is finally going to face an elite environment next Saturday. You may have missed last Saturday. They played in Athens, and they looked quite well. I think the Aggies are still okay if Mac. Yeah, I mean, again, we got to credit Max Johnson. He won them the game. He was awesome. He was the best quarterback on the field in the Auburn Texas A&M game. Rattler is excellent. Yep. Jaden Daniels, the best quarterback in the SEC. Maybe I'm not ready to go that far, but he's top 3 or 4. He's top 2 or 3. He's good. We're hatred for A&M. I don't know where that's coming from. Are you new here? I think Jimbo makes A&M. How about Jimbo trying to tackle someone out there? Not really, but I don't know how the hell that's not a penalty there where he just ran onto the damn field. Shane says, kudos to Mississippi State decided to throw downfield today, and all they did was break the all-time record for receiving yards. Tulu did. If Kentucky cleans up stupid penalties, they'll be fine and stop dropping. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's fixable things, but it's week in, week out against shitty competition. You're letting them linger, keeping them in the game. Bad snaps, bad interceptions. They clean that up. Yeah, they can beat everybody aside from Georgia on their schedule. Peyton Thorne, not great. Do I think Mizzou LSU would get College Game Day? No, they won't even rank Mizzou for some reason. But I would be in favor of it. I like it when they go to the games they're not going to that often. Or locations, I mean. College Game Day dragged Tennessee after. Good, they should have. Tennessee played like shit against Florida. Anyone could see that. Shane had to walk because of that. Yep, College Game Day to Duke. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's kind of cool. Imagine being a Duke fan, as irrelevant as they are. They finally got something. Leggett is a threat. Absolutely. Tennessee doesn't got anyone that can guard him. Too early to tell if Dante Thornton is a bust or not. He's a bust. I'm calling it. I mean, I can't remember a meaningful. I think he scored 1 touchdown, maybe in the Austin Peay game. I can't remember, but I think it was the Florida game. Brady Cook, top 5. Everybody's top 5. Brady, I'm not willing to give him top 5 just yet. He's got a top 1 receiver. I think that certainly helps his numbers. Yeah, it took this long for somebody to mention Colorado. You notice I don't ever mention them because I don't give a damn about any of that. But yes, Colorado got bent over and exposed, according to that's Bobo's headset comment, not mine. But I did enjoy that. Yep, we called Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas always gives LSU a good game, and we could sit here and what if everything, but Arkansas blew that game against BYU. The analytics said they dominated that game. They did. Couple things go their way. They won that game by 21 points. That was a bad loss. You shouldn't have lost it. I figured they'd bounce back here. Nick's about to go drink. That's what I need to do. I'm proud of this show for ignoring the prime circus. Thank you. All right, Cousin Shane, if Leggett had one more touchdown, I would have had to wear the belly shirt. Thank God he didn't. All right, anything else here? We're at 25 minutes. One last time, recapping the power rankings. Vanderbilt 16, Auburn 15, Mississippi State 14, Kentucky 13, South Carolina 12, Tennessee 11, Florida 10, Ole Miss 9, Texas A&M 8, Arkansas 7, Alabama 6. This is the worst 6 of all time. 5, Missouri, Oklahoma 4, LSU 3, Georgia 2, and Texas number 1. Do you think? Yeah, of course. This is Saban's last year. I want to see drunk Mike power rank. Yep. Saban's done. Why do you include OU in because they're SEC? I don't think Georgia's going to win the East, the worst number 2 of all time. I don't think there's anyone to compete with Georgia because they're all average. Why do you hate Duvall? Everybody, it's weird how many people say you hate this team, you hate that. Apparently, I hate everyone. I just do this for a living. I've quit everything in my life, moved 3 hours away to live by myself to do SEC because I hate all your teams. What are we talking about here, people? I tell the truth. If you can't handle the truth, that's on you. The King Dynasty. Thank you, Bubba. Again, that was the truth. Alabama didn't want to hear it. That's the truth. The King Conference, maybe. I think a bad year because there's lack of great quarterbacks. But you see that. KJ's a good quarterback. He kept Arkansas in it. Jane Daniels, good quarterback. Spencer Rattler, elite. He's keeping South Carolina in these games. We're lacking quarterbacks. Tennessee doesn't have a good one. A&M at times has a good one. Alabama doesn't have a good one. I don't think Carson Beck is elite. Now, he's not killing them. So I think that's why the SEC appears to be down, because we don't have elite quarterback play, at least not right now. Uh-oh, Rayola. We're already getting Rayola. Okay. All right, anything else? You can't handle the truth. Thank you, Jason. Exactly. All right, so anything else? I'm about to cut this one. I'm rambling here. Exactly. You said I hate him, but here's the thing. Alex Golesh, maybe. You know what Alex Golesh really did? He did red zone packages. And Tennessee is struggling in the red zone. So there might be some validity to that, but I don't think Alex Golesh is some quarterback whisperer. Look at his history with quarterbacks. Look at Josh Heupel's. It's not even comparable. And one last thing, I was just thinking, there's not been any upsets. I'm waiting to do an emergency podcast. I mean, we did it after Alabama lost to Texas. But where are the upsets? Maybe next week? Let's look at that schedule one more time. Alabama on the road at Mississippi State. That could be an upset because Alabama's not great. Florida, I don't know if that's really an upset. I think they'll be favored over Kentucky. Arkansas over A&M, that would be an upset. The biggest one, of course, Georgia on the road at Auburn. There's no shot in hell that's happening. So, again, not many upsets. Spencer Rattler catches hot. I don't think that's an upset if they go into Tennessee and beat them. So, I hate the Aggies. I hate them all. Whoever you're a fan of, I hate them. Does A&M have a quarterback controversy? Maybe. I mean, Wigman's been awesome. So I would keep playing Wigman. But Max Johnson saved us. He's good. That's a good problem to have. But all right, 30 minutes here. I appreciate all y'all for showing up. And don't forget, Sunday, 6 Eastern, 5 Central, live reaction with Cousin Shane. Again, 6 Eastern, 5 Central, live on all the channels. Appreciate each and every one of you. Almost midnight here on the East Coast. But we will catch you on the next one.